All right, thanks for tuning in. Um, this will be sort of a tabletop review of my American Defense Manufacturing UIC 15 Gen 1 that I assembled myself back in 2018, I think the end of 18. Um, I got the receiver set and rail from them and then built it out the way I wanted it, which is almost identical to how they build them anyway. I just wanted to do it just because. And we're about, I would say, 15-ish thousand rounds into it. Maybe as low as 12, maybe as high as 16, 17. I think it's around 15-ish because it's been my main rifle since then. And I just sort of did some easy math, averaging on that. I teach with it, I compete with it, and um, it's been kind of giving me some issues lately. The main issue being my bolt catch doesn't want to stay caught. Like it'll barely catch, and then as soon as you just barely bump the rifle, it'll release. And then recently, I taught a class, and I noticed my accuracy had opened up quite a bit. At 50 yards, it was at like 2 inches, with 62 grain pinnacle ammo, so good ammo. And I was like, well, that's weird. And then I shot some 64 grain PowerPoint hunting ammo that I knew at 50 yards I was averaging about an inch, and it had opened up a considerable amount as well. So I was like, oh crap, time to give it a deep clean and see if I can get some more accuracy out of it, or if it's just time for another barrel. Right quick, I'll give you the build list. Obviously, the ADM receivers, rail, and this is the Gen 1 set. Cerakoted in burnt bronze. They did the finish. This is how I got it. It's got an A5 buffer 2 with an A5H2 buffer. The whatever Veiltor spring comes with the A5 setup. I didn't swap it out for a spring coat or anything like that. It almost always has a Dead Air Sandman K on it on a brake. And oddly enough, the e-brake on the end of the Sandman will not come off. So I don't think I need it to come off, but if I ever did, I'm gonna have to send it back to them or put some sort of strap wrench on it. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Geisley SD3G trigger, which has also started giving me some problems. It doubles really bad. It doesn't the disconnect isn't catching as well, so getting some doubling issues every once in a while. ADM bolt carrier group, uh, ballistic advantage 14 and a half Hansen barrel. So if you know anything about the Hansen profile, it's the contour is pretty even throughout, and they have its own pinned gas block, which I really like a lot. I've always had a lot of good luck out of the Hansen barrels. Big fan of those. ADM Recon mid height mount, so it's like their 1.67 I think height. Razor Gen 2 E 1 to 6. This has been pretty much the setup since I built it, with the exception of the optic. The E model didn't exist back then, and I had the PST. Broke the PST and got this afterwards. Last little bit of build list: Geisley Airborne charging handle. I love this charging handle because it's slimmer. As a dude that only has vision in his left eye, I have to shoot all shouldered guns left-handed. So that means the charging handle, shell deflector, and um, charging handle poke me, and it's quite annoying. I also swapped out the forward assist for a forward controls rimless one, so again, less pokey stuff. Nasty rack. Let's get that out of there. So sorry for the rambling, but I did want to give you a full build sheet out first, so that we can move on to the so that you don't think that ADM built it this way and it's their faults or anything like that. But I wanted to show you the issue I found with the bolt catch, and as well as some interesting excessive wear that I found on the carrier and the charging handle. Now, the BCG is black nitride, and the charging handle is supposed to be, or is, Type 3 hard coat anodized. These are great finishes. Great finishes. And Cerakote is not exactly known for its durability, but it's not a terrible thing. What I noticed after wiping all this down and cleaning it up real good, I've never done a full deep clean on this rifle. Normally, I just pull the carrier out, wipe everything down, just give it a quick wipe and throw some more oil on it, call it good. That's served me well. But what I noticed is lots of wear on this carrier on the rails. About half the finish gone on this rail, almost all of it on that one. The finish on the side of the gas key, same way on that side. Almost all of the finish gone on that rail, and that one as well. And then, of course, were the hammer uh, interfaces on the carrier as well. Everywhere else is fine, but I do find that interesting that the Cerakoted upper wore off the nitride finish on the rails. I find that interesting. It functions great. The fitment is amazing. But I mean, I guess it might as well be. It's fitted itself at this point. Tons of wear on the charging handle as well. All that Type 3 anodizing seems to have been uh, removed on this side, except for a little bit right there. Um, most of it on this side, and a little bit at the top here. Inside's fine. There's missing just a little bit right there as well. So I find that interesting. Type 3 hard coat is supposed to be a fantastic aluminum finish, and it is when done properly. I'm not saying Geisley didn't do that properly. I am saying that it's interesting, and I'm not entirely sure um, that they didn't maybe mess up the process on this specific one. Your mileage may vary, of course. A little bit deeper dive into the bolt. Got some pitting going on in the firing pin. Not totally abnormal for a gun of this age and that much use. The bolt itself, as you can see, has some pretty good wear on it. The word interfaces inside of the carrier is pretty much without any finish. The rings have done good, oddly enough. Finish again gone on this portion, which this is the where all the gas hits the most. So of course you're going to have tons of hard buildup right there, lots of heat and all that. So that's not abnormal to see that finish gone. Bolt face and lugs look pretty good. The ejector tension is still good. It still goes in flush with the face as it should. The extractor still worked fine. The hole in the bolt as well as the hole in the extractor itself has not worn out, so it still sits flush like it should. No issues there. The claw still looks great, still does a fantastic job. Spring does good. Now, at some point in its life, I remember changing out this spring and O-ring. I don't remember when, but I do know that has been done once. Cam pin, obviously another hardware item. You can see lots of the finish is gone on it. That's not abnormal. Yeah, Carter key, doesn't matter. Retaining pin, excuse me. And then there's the extractor pin. Oddly enough, it's all in great shape. It's just missing a lot of its finish. Staking on the gas key still looks good. No noticeable issues there. Everything still functions fine. Now on to the part that does not function fine anymore. That is the bolt catch, not the bolt release. It releases almost on its own. But the bolt catch, which if you know anything about ADM, they have one of the neatest bolt catch and release mechanisms on the right side of the gun. So for right-handed shooters, you can pick up on that right there. Single hand lock back the bolt without removing the firing hand, and you can push down on it to release. Normal stuff on this side. What has happened though is, I'm not sure how well you can see this piece right here. Let me get my little pointer stick. Material has pretty much been removed right there. It's no longer a 90-degree surface like right there. Right here where it does most of the catching, it's rounded off. It's obviously not engaging. The interfaces are not engaging with as much engagement as it used to. If you don't know, it catches right there. That's how that works. Well, when you have a ramped surface right there, and then that surface is no longer 90 degrees and ramped also, it just doesn't engage anymore like it should. So I have not reached out to ADM yet. I got a friend out there, Jeremy. He's always taking care of me. I love ADM products. I really do. This is not a bash on them at all. I don't abuse my rifles, but like I don't baby them either. So for things to wear out, it's totally normal. This is just an interesting video. Is all this is. It's just content. It's interesting video for people that nerd out on this kind of stuff like I do and enjoy that. See what kind of wears out first. It's always interesting to me. So I'm going to reach out to them and see if I can get them to replace it. I'm sure they will. The downfall of having a proprietary lower like this, I can't just grab a new bolt catch and throw it in there. It has to be theirs that interfaces with this right side catch and release. Can I do the work myself? Absolutely. They may just send me a new part and let me swap it out, or they may want it to go to them so that they can do the work. No other weird wear items. A5 Viator A5 is doing amazing as it should. Honestly, the Cerakote has held up amazingly. I am not the biggest fan of Cerakote, mainly because I've seen wear issues with them, but this has done fantastic. Of course, their mounts are solid. The optic has been solid. The can has worked great. That's about it. I had some issues out of that Surefire M600DF. It ended up being a hunk of junk. So I threw a Mod Light head on it, and this has been my work rifle, if you will, for what is it, 6 years now, and it's just now got an issue with it that needs to be remedied. Maybe a new barrel. I'll go shoot it Saturday and see if I can get it to group again. If I can't, new barrel is on the way. I'll get the new barrel on the way. So I hope y'all find this interesting and informative. I will post this to YouTube. This will be on YouTube, obviously. If you want to see the prior pictures of how dirty it was, go to the Instagram Synergy Training Group. You're going to have to search. Freaking Meta hates me bad. They suppress my channel so much on Facebook and Instagram. So Synergy Training Group on Instagram and Facebook. I'll have the pictures of how dirty this thing was beforehand. Spoiler alert, it's not that crazy. You've seen worse. I try to take care of my stuff as best as I can. So, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. A little bit of a long format. I find it interesting, and I hope you did too. Thanks.